The war was 4 years old when Lincoln rose to make his second inaugural address in March. And he'd been wondering why God had let it go on so long.
Before the war, Lincoln had spent very little time thinking about religion. But as the war went on, he tried to discover what God's purpose might be in this war. And I think that was part of his effort to come to grips with the enormous loss of life.
Lincoln decided the war might be God's punishment on all Americans for 200 years of slavery.
Fervently do we hope that this mighty scourge of war may speedily pass away. Yet, if God wills that it continue until every drop of blood drawn with the lash shall be paid by another drawn with the sword, so still it must be said, the judgments of the Lord are true and righteous altogether. Abraham Lincoln, Second Inaugural Address.
This is an amazing statement for a president to make, and not in some private conversation or private memo. He says this to the whole country in an inaugural address. It's a radical thing to say.
Lincoln was proud of his speech and anxious to hear the opinion of the black leader, Frederick Douglass.
There's a wonderful story of Douglass coming into the White House after the second inaugural. A huge crowd is standing, shaking Lincoln's hand, and Lincoln calls out across the room, "There's my friend, Douglass. Douglass, come here." Douglass walked across this crowded room, and Lincoln says to Douglass, "What did you think of my inaugural address? There's no man's opinion that I admire more than yours." And Douglass says, "It was a sacred effort." And Lincoln says, "Thank you."